Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking something that sounds super academic, modeling theory, and we're going to completely demystify it, turning an abstract concept into a highly practical toolkit for your mind. If you've ever found yourself wondering how human cognition scales from simple recognition all the way up to the creation of entirely new realities, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to look closely at how our minds process the world, layer by layer.
So, let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat, shall we? If everyday life is already modeling, why even bother studying a whole theory about it? As our source material points out, while this knowledge probably won't make you a millionaire overnight, it provides something arguably much more valuable. It gives you the wisdom to navigate life's adversities without emotionally collapsing. Knowing exactly how you model the world means knowing how to deliberately design your life. It makes you mentally stronger and way better equipped to solve complex problems. To get there, we've got a roadmap. 1. The value of modeling. 2. The dimensional ladder. 3. Building systems. 4. Evolving over time. 5. The fifth dimension. And 6. Cultivating intellect. Section 1. The value of modeling. Navigating life's adversities. The author behind our source material actually taught this exact framework to over 5,000 students. And you know what they realized? It is literally the ultimate tool for designing your life deliberately. It's all about systematically explaining the ordinary, everyday activities every human being performs and turning that common sense into a tangible, usable framework. To truly wrap our heads around this, we need to borrow a core concept from geometry and physics: the dimension. In physics, you start from a zero-dimensional point, move up to a three-dimensional solid object, and then you add time to reach four-dimensional spacetime. Beyond that, kind of like the string theory proposing 11 dimensions, we enter realms beyond direct observation. Well, modeling theory takes this exact physical concept and applies it directly to how we evaluate human cognition and creation. Section 2. The dimensional ladder. Climbing from 1D to 5D. Think of this as your cognitive cheat sheet. Our intellectual capability scales all the way from simple imitation and naming at the very bottom in 1D, through establishing relationships in 2D, building systems in 3D, tracking evolution in 4D, all the way up to absolute world building, or the simulacrum, at the 5D peak. It's basically a map of the human mind. All right, let's break this down. Starting at the ground floor with the first dimension, the whole point of 1D modeling is just naming and imitating what's already right there in front of you. It's symbolization. When you look at a massive sandy plain and use the word desert, or when you express a chemical rush of dopamine in your brain by sending a smiley emoticon to a friend, you are engaging in 1D modeling. Road signs, musical notes, a round of applause, these are all basic one-dimensional imitations of reality. Moving up to 2D modeling, we can really see how this builds. This is where we take those basic 1D symbols and hook them together to make meaningful structures. It's all about grammatical and logical connections. Suddenly a word becomes a sentence. For instance, plotting a price-quality graph connects two variables to show their relationship. In database design, an entity relationship diagram does the exact same thing. Anytime you express a causal link, a hierarchy, or a correlation, you're officially operating in the second dimension. Section 3. Building systems. The third dimension. Once we've got a handle on simple relationships between variables, we level up again. This is where components start interacting organically. You start with words in 1D. You connect them into grammatical sentences in 2D. But a 3D model isn't just a random pile of sentences, right? When you structure those sentences organically around a unified theme, you've created a novel, a complete 3D literary work. The defining trait we're looking at here is functionality. Whether you're talking about the complex biological systems in the human body, the mechanical engineering of a car, or the crazy integration of hardware and software in your smartphone, a 3D model is integrated. It functions. Every single individual part serves the complete system's overarching objective. Section 4. Evolving over time. The fourth dimension. But here's the thing. Static systems, no matter how intricate they are, just don't capture the full scope of reality. To do that, we have to inject the axis of time. Think about software updates for a second. Hangul Word Processor version 1.0 is a complete 3D system. But when it upgrades to version 2.0 and then 3.0, you are now observing four-dimensional modeling. You're tracking how a complete system transforms dynamically over time. We also see this all the time in ecological system dynamics. When a model tracks how bees, flowers, and trees within a forest ecosystem influence one another and evolve over decades, that's 4D. Or look at chronological historical records, like the Annals of the Chosen Dynasty, which document the dynamic evolution of societal events across a temporal sequence. Time is the absolutely crucial ingredient here. Section 5, the fifth dimension, the simulacrum. And now we've reached it, the absolute pinnacle of the dimensional ladder, the realm of pure human creativity. To truly grasp 5D modeling, you have to understand this concept called the simulacrum. It's an originalist copy. What this means is transcending the physical world to design alternative realities, fictional laws, and surreal worldviews that have literally never existed before. It is a creation born entirely out of human imagination. There is absolutely no prior counterpart in reality to imitate. What's super fascinating to me here is the deep philosophical clash behind all of this. The ancient philosopher Plato, he actually hated the idea of the copy. He believed the physical world was already a copy of a perfect idea, making human art a double fake that completely lacked genuine reality. But modern thinkers like Jean Baudrillard and Gilles Deleuze flip this entirely on its head. They argue that these originalist creations actually generate a hyper-reality that's sometimes more real than reality itself, acting as the true driving force of human civilization. And this completely flips how we evaluate our creations. Because there's no original physical object out there to imitate, the value of a 5D model isn't about how perfectly it copies something else. Instead, difference means pure originality. Your creation's value is determined purely by how uniquely distinct it is from everything else. The less it resembles an existing model, the more of a creative masterpiece it becomes. And we interact with realities born of 5D modeling every single day. Think about it. When Disneyland was built, there was no original magical kingdom somewhere to copy. It was pure imagination made physical. When Steve Jobs designed the first iPhone, it wasn't just a slightly better copy of an existing product. It was a simulacrum that became our new reality, inspiring countless imitations afterward. From the incredibly sophisticated cinematic worlds of The Matrix and Avatar to the sprawling digital landscapes of virtual reality, these are all prime examples of 5D models. Section 6, Cultivating Intellect. Why this matters. So why does climbing this dimensional ladder actually matter for your own intellectual journey? Well, research in cognitive development shows that human growth naturally mirrors this exact climb. In childhood, we start with 1D naming and language. During adolescence and early adulthood, we move into 2D and 3D modeling, finally grasping logical structures and complex systems. And ultimately, in advanced study and professional mastery, we start dealing with 4D temporal dynamics and eventually step into 5D creation. Because of that, cultivating your 5D capacity is definitely not just some abstract academic exercise. It's actually the ultimate framework for leveling up your brain. Training yourself to engage in higher dimensional modeling directly expands your ability to understand reality, organize immense complexity, and solve the world's most difficult problems. I absolutely love this takeaway from the source material. It says 5-dimensional modelers are not merely observers of the world. They are creators who bring into existence realities that did not previously exist. I mean, how powerful is that? It proves that at the highest level of intellect, you stop merely watching and reacting to the world, and you start actively building it. Knowing that you actually have the framework and the power to move way beyond simple imitation, I want to leave you with a final provocative question to ponder as you step back into your own reality today. What new reality will you bring into existence now that you understand the fifth dimension? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building.